Good afternoon. I'm pleased to speak on the occasion of the event of the annual meetings of the African Development Bank, which is actually a great institution. And as far as I'm concerned, as governor for Egypt, and Egypt being part of Africa, we've been very appreciative of the role of the African Development Bank. Our imagination and vision for the role of AFDB is really great. Our aspirations are very high. They are very high because the needs and the ambitions of the African continent are great and are growing. And as I was speaking in the last conference in the presence of the World Bank and IMF and policymakers of the African countries, and as much I have expected them to take a bigger role in favor of our continent and our people, I also have ambition that the African Development Bank also will join them in getting our message of the greater role we expect them to have. Africa has been getting external financial support from the developing world. But as I said in the last conference, it is far from enough. It's far from adequate. And I would measure it against how much the African continent is providing to the developed world in terms of foreign currency. Africa provides over $547 billion every year to the developed world by importing materials, services, and goods from the developed world. The amount of financing we are receiving is so minute compared to this. And this is not a balanced formula, and it is not a fair equation. And we have to renegotiate this. So if we talk about over $600 billion in trade annually, one way, we need financing that's commensurate with this level of money. Because this financing is very important for stability of our people in Africa, for inflation, and for standard of living. Therefore, we need a bigger role for African Development Bank to negotiate this on our behalf. Also, I believe the African Development Bank can also play more roles with African central banks and African governments. We need to mobilize part of our international reserves in Africa for the welfare and benefit and financing of Africa. We should be supporting the African Development Bank with more liquidity through our international reserves. And they should be mobilizing those reserves to the countries that are in need in the prudent manner so that this money is productive and this money can be paid back. The third point that I would like to talk about is the method of financing our nations from the African Development Bank. And I believe we have to start thinking of migrating from budget financing to project financing and private sector financing. I think project financing and private sector financing from the AFDB going directly to the markets will be more productive, will create more jobs, as private sector investment creates multiples of jobs than government investments. So I think that the African Development Bank has a great responsibility in the coming future. We wish them the best of luck, and we will give them all the support. We've been supporting the request for capital increase, but also we request them to expand the scope and the vision of the role so that our African nations can be positioned in a better way and be able to withstand the international shocks and the global turbulences that have become very difficult for many of our countries. Thank you very much, and I wish you good luck with your meetings. And I hope your meetings will be candid, will be honest, and will be innovative, producing new ideas and new results towards progress.